Let's not act like what we are seeing here with the premature closing of TikTok is not a part of a propaganda campaign. The Chinese government, we know this, is like really peak propagandists. And Donald Trump, we know from his signature on the stimulus check, loved to take credit for stuff he doesn't necessarily need credit for. And let's all remember, do not forget, Donald Trump started all of this in 2019. He was the one that first proposed the TikTok ban. He's the one that issued an executive order to ban TikTok. He's the one who TikTok sued and successfully won. So what we're seeing with the premature shutdown is just an attempt to Donald Trump look like the hero. No one's fooled. There will be some people fooled. Let me not kid myself. There'll be a lot of young people, a lot of impressionable people, a lot of MAGAs, obviously, who are going to fall for it. As I was on TikTok toward the end of it, doing updates constantly, giving my hypothesis and things you saw here on YouTube, I shared here as well. There have been lots of attempts. There have been lots of us just, sort of like hypothesizing what's going to happen. And in the comment section, to a lot of them, people were blaming Biden. People were blaming the Supreme Court. They're blaming boomers. They were, saying Donald Trump's going to save it. So there's a lot of people who believe in all of this. It's going to be I guess it would be a win for him, because the same way the stimulus checks followed him for 4 years to 2000, this 2004 election, Kamala Harris, we saw a lot of people keep mentioning the stimmy checks. They were mentioning the stimmy checks. And as I said in previous videos, stimulus checks were given by Bush. He gave the first stimulus. There were stimulus checks by Obama. There was stimulus checks by Joe Biden. There were 3 presidents before Donald Trump gave stimulus checks. Donald Trump's the only one that felt like he needed to, or before and after, put his signature on it because he wanted credit, because he's a king, a marketer. He might not be the smartest bulb, I don't think. He may be a racist, sexist, criminal, felon, all the things that, while the ones of us, the 74 million of us that didn't vote for him, believe about him. He's all those things. And despite all of that, I can always give him credit for being the master marketer. A lot of his Trump hotels, they do is license out his names. So he knows about the names. He knows about branding. He throws his branding on everything. He just issued a Trump coin at his Trump Mar-a-Lago. They have in Trump burgers with his face on it. He's all about himself. And this is just part of it. What I think is going to happen is on Monday or Tuesday, I think Donald Trump already knows that there's already a deal. I would hate for it to be owned by the MAGA guy, what's his name? Kevin O'Leary. Don't like him at all. So if they're the guys to buy it, it's all planned. I think either they'll purchase it, or the Oracle Walmart deal that fell apart in 2020 after Trump lost. So what's going to happen is either Kevin O'Leary's group or the Oracle Walmart group that was from 2020 have already started a deal. It's already been inked. It's close to. So I think the parameters of Donald Trump being able to execute the 90-day extension until, for the ban, is predicated on those things. You have a buyer, substantial movement along with the sale, and then paperwork to substantiate that. I think the fact that Chu has been working with Donald Trump and bigging him up, mentioning him in every time he comes on TikTok or X, and then he's going to be sending his boxes, all part of it. It's a whole oligarchy. Everyone knows it. Everyone sees it. It's not a surprise to anyone. We've all been talking about it, that's what we have coming, and that's what we're seeing. So no surprise. So I think what happens, he knows already, and he just want to give Donald Trump that win so Joe Biden could have that L, so Donald Trump could take the win and say he was a hero. He saved TikTok. So I talked about this in previous videos. I mentioned it in previous videos. That's what I think is going to go on. I'm looking forward to seeing what the deal is inked, what that says. So yeah, that's what I think is going to happen. It's sad because he's being emotional. He's playing with people's livelihood. There's a lot of people crying. There's a lot of haters out there who don't like content creators, who don't like influencers, who despise the fact that they have to work 60 days, work 2 or 4 jobs to make like a fraction of what some of these content creators make. And they're gleefully happy that a source of income for a lot of people, a lot of source of information, support, a lot of people learned and gained community. There's a lot of stigma attached to a lot of conditions like ADHD and autism and miscarriage and loss and mourning and grief. A lot of those things, a lot of people found a home and community in TikTok and learn they're not alone, and were able to, commune and get together and, grow and just laugh and learn on TikTok, and taking that, playing games with people. It's like three guys. Biden's part of this too. I'm not, I love Biden, but he's part of this gaming and stuff like that. So United States government, Biden, Trump, Chew, all of them playing around with emotions, using the content creators as a pawn. TikTok paid for the lawyers for the content creators to file their brief. But we are essentially being pawns, and that's what the Chinese government's key for. Flex also, if that's the case, how we are being jerked around and we are a pawn. And this just shows how, United States and our people always get jerked around. Because one thing I discovered when I was doing research on this, I found there was a leak of the algorithm that said the TikTok algorithm, the reason why it's so powerful, not just because there are thousands of engineers working in China, but when they had created, what was leaked was a document sort of explaining in English, in plain speak, for the engineers so they can understand their goals. They say, we have four masters. One is the user. We want the user to have a good experience. Two, we want the user to come back. Three, we want to make sure the content creators, the content that does well, we want to pump that up. And then four, we want the platform to look good and have growth. That was the four prongs. And in this document, this leaked document, one of the things they said, when they were comparing other competitors, they not once mentioned Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, YouTube, Twitter, Snap. They never mentioned any American companies. Essentially, they're not our competition. Like they're competing for services, but they can't compete with us in terms of the algorithm. They were comparing themselves to other Chinese companies. Chinese governments leap years ahead of us. And I saw someone, I wish I knew the comment, and my comment on TikTok said, is because Americans could create that, we would create that. We wouldn't necessarily need to compete with TikTok, shut it down and things like that. And I can tell you, I did some data. The reason why the algorithm is working well is because it gets people, it's addictive, and it gets you content that you want to see, but content that you need to see, content that you would like, so you don't get bored. And if you're a content creator, it delivers you audiences faster. It helps you get a lot of views and possibly build a community. Obviously, I'm on YouTube, playing this on YouTube, and YouTube is the place where you get a community. Like I have a growing community of people. I love you guys who always comment and share, have my back in the comments. So this is where you build community. If you build community, there will be people who will watch your videos as soon as it's published. They'll watch all the way through, give you 100% watch hours. If you have commercials, they'll watch all your commercials, and they will like your videos, and they will share it. So you have a community. If you have enough of those people and you're doing long videos like this, you're going to make a lot more money on YouTube from ads revenues anyway than you would from TikTok. So TikTok would actually help you, get a lot of views and grow really fast. But in terms of community building, YouTube really is the platform. But I can say for certain, when I pivoted to this content, TikTok was where I had the most engagement, and then just recently, just today, I felt comfortable because of the band, just going on TikTok and just talking to people and say, hey, this is what I think now, this is what I think now, and responding to people. I did a lot of that. I was so excited. I got my groove back. I got actually a groove. And I was like, I can't wait to keep doing this. And now I can't anymore. Well, not until Monday and Tuesday. So that's my predictions. What do you guys think? Share this video. Follow me here, because who knows whatever happens. And I'm also on Threads. I just post on here in Threads and Instagram. So I'm going to post this video on Instagram. I'm going to post this video, part of it on Threads, and I'll see you guys. So follow me here, share, watch this playlist next. And we knew it was coming. We knew this power play. I didn't think it was going to happen early, but that's probably for the shock factor, to do it a little bit early so people get upset, emotionally. It's like taking candy from a baby. So that's what they're doing. So they're jerking us around on purpose, part of propaganda. And we all see through it, other than the MAGA and little kids.